So do we have Ben and Dr. Ackerman? Come on up.
Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, yeah. Hello, I'm Ben.
I'm Lindsay Ackerman. Thanks so much for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
So Ben's a patient of mine who's had psoriasis for many, many years, and I'd love for him to start off just by engaging you all in what it's like to live with this incredibly burdensome disease, and we'll talk about how we work together to get through it.
Right, so I guess my story starts back in college. That's when I was diagnosed with psoriasis. At the time, I didn't think much of it other than, oh, I'll take some creams. I think I went to like my regular doctor and they gave me some steroid creams, whatever. And then the battle started. Obviously, steroid creams didn't do much. I went through college with plaques all over my arms, all over my chest, all over my legs. At one point, I think it was about 75% of my body was covered in plaques. And not just little, a lot of people think psoriasis can be just these little marks on you. My plaques were very thick and very visible. So I couldn't go anywhere without being seen with this rash all over my entire body. So that was my life before I met Dr. Ackerman.
I will say Ben is an incredibly courageous and heroic person, having lived through what he's lived through and the changes that this disease can make, not just in a life, but truly to the trajectory of a life, are profound. You take a child, essentially, who's embarking on this transition point in life to move into adulthood and engage in the activities that a young adult should engage in, whether that's being able to concentrate in school and your directives therein, or engaging in social interactions or extracurricular activities. These diseases, and I feel very privileged in dermatology to have an opportunity to engage with patients in what I would consider a very experiential disease burden, continuum. We have diseases in dermatology that affect people in very meaningful ways. But I think Ben is incredibly courageous to share his story, but also what this disease had meant to you at that time in your life was substantial.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to even explain it. I mean, in your 20s, you are obviously young and socializing, and I was a very outgoing social person up until high school, and everything just crashed. I was a shell of myself, and I still suffer from that today. I mean, even getting up here is kind of triggering for me because for 15 years, I spent my life trying to hide. I hid as much as I could, and that meant long sleeve shirts, pants, in the summers in Arizona. After college, I started working. I was actually a hospitality restaurant management major in college, and immediately after college, I took one job as at a country club, and I couldn't hide my psoriasis enough to be working in the food industry anymore. So I completely changed careers after that. I moved back to Arizona, and it completely, like you said, changed the trajectory of my life for sure. But I'm just grateful for the medicines that I've been able to take. It's been a long fight. I think my wife and I counted yesterday, 8 biologics I've been on with. And that's thanks to Dr. Ackerman always being able to find the next one that is going to work and not saying, well, 75% clearance is okay. Because it wasn't, because the 25% clearance was all over my arms and my face and my head, and it wasn't good. Yes, an insurance company might say it's good enough, it's working, but it wasn't. And I needed somebody to stand up and say, no, just because it's sort of working, that's good enough. And I took that as, in the beginning, as, okay, these medicines work kind of, and I'm just going to live my life like this. But when I met Dr. Ackerman, she's like, no, that's not good enough. We're going to find one that actually works and gets you to 100% clearance.
And this is just because, in medicine, we're treating anything but just a disease state. We're treating a person. And for Ben, any residual disease on his body was indeed triggering. I mean, it was, and rightfully so, apart from the fact that it was also in a visible area. So for him to go about his day and live his life and feel like he was able to contribute to society in the way he wanted to, participate in the activities with his kids the way he needed to not have psoriasis that remained in 25% of his body. And, I think when we think about innovation and we think about where the science has taken us, and in dermatology, I can speak very specifically, the past 15 years have been revolutionary, not just evolutionary, but revolutionary. We have taken, oral molecules that used to get us maybe 40% of where we are today and think that that was like really great. And watching the revolution of where we've been able to bring patients now has been incredibly, incredibly rewarding. Why do we need the next best one? Because there's a guy like Ben who failed the former 8. There's always going to be somebody who is struggling to live that life that they need, and we rely on all of us together to continue that advocacy journey to make sure that we're moving the needle in science forward until every patient can live free of these disease burdens.
Right. And I mean, just to follow up on that, I still live every day. When I get a spot that will appear, it's usually close to when I need to do my next dose. My body will tell me when I'm time to take my next shot. I don't need a calendar, and that triggers a traumatic thing for me, being like, oh God, when is this one going to stop working? And let's hope there's another one that we have available after this one stops working, because it eventually will. And fortunately, there's already a couple more down the road that I think if this one stops working, I have a few more. So
I hope it doesn't stop working.
Right. So, yeah, that's kind of my story. It's really, a lot of people think like something like psoriasis is just, it's just on the face and it's just a rash. But I'm here to say it destroys people's lives. You just want to stay inside and hide, and you literally feel like you're a monster when you go outside. People are staring at you. They don't understand it. They think it's contagious. And you get sick of trying to explain what it is to people. So I just am grateful that I'm not in that place anymore, and really happy to have found these medicines that are just incredible, life-changing medicines.